Texas University, and she is going to, she's an alumni of Texas University. Unfortunately, I said that she's from Texas University. So that's my mistake, Zainab. My
No
apologies.
worries. No worries. It's
Yeah,
all right.
how much time is gonna take? 1 hour
Yeah,
for
hardly 30 minutes to 40 minutes, 1 hour, because we have less number of crowds. And if in case it would have been a Saturday, it would have been much more ahead, right? Isn't it?
yeah, yeah,
Right.
yeah. Thank you,
And
thank you.
Dr. Ali, I would say that I have been associated with a lot of chats. Than the first time I'm speaking with you, right?
Oh yes, yes, yes. First time.
Absolutely.
Nice to meet you.
Absolutely. I mean, first time I'm hearing your voice and you're hearing my voice also. Correct.
Yes, yes. I'm glad. I'm glad. Thank you.
Wonderful, wonderful. Absolutely. Yes. So we can start. Ready, set, go, Miss Zainab Siddiqui. Please.
Yes, thank you. So
Welcome.
let's first start with some of the key terminologies which are around us for some time now, right? Actually, these are the terms which are kind of fancy, and you can, irrespective of the fact which industry you belong to, you will be hearing these terms, right? The very first term I want to talk about is AI, right? What is AI? It's artificial intelligence. Everybody knows artificial intelligence, AI. And the other term is data science. The short is DS, right? But are these two related? Many people have this question, right? Are these two related? If not related, then what is the difference between the two? What actually AI means? What actually data science means? Right? And there are a lot of questions. So today's sessions is basically ask me anything, and our purpose is to demystify first of all the basic terminology, and then go ahead and talk about the career prospects and how different industries are utilizing these technologies, so that people are able to get a roadmap, a clarity as to how they can transform their careers, or if they want to do switch from their current job roles to something related to AI and data science, how feasible it is and how that can be done, right? So that's particularly what I want to talk about today. So if I talk about AI, right, I will give you the example of a simple calculator, right? So calculator is one of the earliest machines that was developed by humans, right? One of the earliest machines. But if you go to the history of calculator, everything is rule based, right? What rule base is, rule base means is, if you press a key, that particular thing will be done, right? If you press the number 8, that particular number will be fed into the system of the calculator, right? If you press plus, then it would understand that it has to do addition. If you press 3, then it will do 8 plus 3 and give you the answer, right? But the answer will not be uh, going to be like given out until unless you again press a button. So everything is rule based, everything is dependent upon input and output, right? So there is a specific rule which is relating this input to the output that has to be given out, right? So everything is rule based, even the earliest computers which were there, right? If I talk about ENAC, EDVAC, ETSAC, all the earliest days, computer days, Charles Babbage, right? The days of Charles Babbage, all of these computers, everything was rule based, right? Now what change has come up, right? Instead of rule based, right, we are telling the computer or the machine to do something, right? I'm telling in very simple, very basic layman terms, right? To do something based upon its own knowledge, right? Now instead of rule based, it becomes knowledge based. Now this is the change that has come. When it was rule based, it's simple mechanical thing, right? But what is the difference between AI and other traditional machinery? The difference is that AI is a knowledge based decision making system, right? And how this knowledge is coming, this is all coming from the data, right? Now this data, right, this data and everything related to this data comes to this entire umbrella, broad umbrella called data science, right? Now whether it is the collection of data, whether it is the cleaning of data, that means you are trying to improve the quality of data, whether it is doing modeling with the data, whether it is doing predictions with the data, whether it is doing deployment of this data in the public domain for others to use, everything related to data is treated under this umbrella of data science, right? So this is the two key terminologies that you should understand, right? Now again, AI is all about intelligent machines, right? Right, the earlier breakthroughs, be it computers or the early computers or calculators, these were not intelligent machines, these were simply machines, and we were very happy that we created machines. And AI is something about giving intelligence to the machines, right? Like we as human beings, we have our senses, we can see, we can hear, and based upon that we can process the information we are receiving. Like right now you are listening to what I'm saying, you are seeing what's appearing on the screen, and based on that you're processing it. But computers did not have that ability until comes into the picture. Once AI comes into the picture, the computers have a knowledge base based upon which they are developing their intelligence. And once they have their intelligence, they are able to make decisions on their own without getting explicit instructions or being explicitly programmed, right? There are no explicit rules or algorithms out there. They get an input, they use the knowledge base to process that input, and they give the output, right? So the transformation of input to output is knowledge based in the case of AI, right? So it's entirely about intelligent machines, and is different from what simple standalone machines are. Data science, as I said, it's everything related to data, right? Again, in data science you have two very common terminologies coming across. One is ML, which is short for machine learning, and then one is DL, right, which is short for deep learning. And then another new terminology that you will come across is Gen AI, right? I would just like to move this whiteboard a little bit here. So if we look at this broad umbrella called data science, right, let's consider this is a broad set called data science. Within this we have various subsets, right? As I said, various subsets. Amongst all of these subsets, one of the subsets is machine learning, right? And within machine learning we have another subset, which is your deep learning. And within deep learning we have another subset. Let me redraw this. Actually I have, yeah, so data science is a broad, okay, selected the wrong one. It's a broad thing. Then within data science you have another broad set called machine learning. Then you have another broad set called deep learning, and within deep learning you have another broad set called Gen AI. Okay, now again here the rest of the sets will be you can say cleaning, data collection, right? Then you have data manipulation. All of these things fall under the umbrella of data science. Even analysis, exploration of the data, all of this is related to data science, right? Or statistical analysis, you do descriptive statistics, all of that comes under data science. Now what is machine learning? Machine learning is the science where you start your modeling, right? The modeling starts from machine learning, right? Modeling means you are trying to create algorithms which are able to learn from the data you provide, right? Or you can say it is the process of creating the knowledge base for the machines, right? And how this knowledge base is created with the help of data, right? So this is machine learning. It starts. Now again, machine learning initially when it started, right, back in the 1960s, 1970s, it's pure simple mathematical models, I should say. Like you have done linear algebra, you have done exponential analysis, right? So these are simple mathematical models, right, whose equation we can interpret, whose equations we can know, right? As I said, linear regression is there, exponential equations are there. So those kinds of models are there, right? And those kinds of models actually they map the inputs to the outputs, and here there's an equation that is used for the mapping. So these are simple mathematical models, right? But there were challenges with that, and so deep learning came into the picture, which is concerned with neural networks, right? Again, deep learning is also all about modeling, right? Because it's a subset of machine learning. So this is also related to modeling. This is also related to model building only. You can say modeling or model building, both the terms work, right? So this is about neural networks. Now neural networks are a special type of architecture, right? And these mimic the human brain. In simple words, I should say, these mimic the brain of the human beings, right? And so these are more capable than the simple mathematical models that were there. So when you are working with neural networks which are mimicking the human brain's working, it comes under the umbrella of deep learning. Now within deep learning you have another subset, again this is also about modeling, called Gen AI. Now these models right? These models can generate any kind of data, right? They can generate code, they can generate images, they can generate text, right? The key difference between Gen AI and the rest of the modeling that takes place is that these models are generating data, and rest of the models are mainly discriminatory models. They are kind of distinguishing, or they are kind of doing predictions. They are not generating any kind of data. Okay, so all of these models, Gen AI models, are generating data, while the rest of the modeling that is taking place, that's more about predictions, be it prediction of a house price, be it prediction of stock price in the finance domain, be it prediction about the disease outbreak in the healthcare domain, right? So all of those kinds of predictions are about the uh, right, ML and DL models deal with, right? In general, again, Gen AI is just 10% of what all the modeling takes place in data science, right? 90% of the models are still related to the descriptive and discriminatory modeling, right? The predictions part. So this was about the terminology. Any questions at this point? Anyone wants to ask?
For me, it's clear.
Okay. The next thing that I want to talk about is about the job roles, right? The career prospects. So first thing, before we start, talking about the career prospects, is that data is generated in every industry, right? Every industry is generating data. If you talk about banking and finance, you have data about transactions, you have data about credit card, you have data about loans, yeah, right? A lot of customer data is there. If you talk about healthcare industry, we have a lot of electronic health records getting generated. We have medical images, right? Chest x-rays or CT scans, ultrasounds, MRIs. All of these imaging modalities are being worked upon in the medical industry. Then agriculture, right? These days a lot of agricultural data is also available. We have soil monitoring data, we have weather related data. A lot of data is there in agriculture. Then even in the real estate industry, you have a lot of data, right? So every industry, right, utilizes data in one way or the other. And wherever data is there, right, the field of data science is applicable. It's open to application, right? And as of today, right, there is no industry which is not leveraging data science for its benefit, right? So this is one thing I want to clear about industry. So the field of data science is industry agnostic. It's not a new domain in itself, right? I want to emphasize this fact. It's not at all a new domain. It's just the application, or you can say it's applied mathematics in a new way, right, in the existing industries only, right? So even if you're working in some industry for 10 years, for 12 years, for 14 years now, right, it is possible to upskill, to learn the the ropes of data science, and continue working in the same industry by applying the principles, by applying the methods of data science to your existing industry, right? By you will be able to utilize the data much more better way, in a much more better way, right? So that's one thing. Now if at if I talk about the job roles, right, this is one thing I wanted to talk about, the industry part, right? If you want to stay in the same industry. Other thing is that some people want to do transition, right? Transition means they are in industry A, and now they want to move to industry B, right? And industry B, let's say this is the related to data science, right? So here multiple roles are available, right? If you want to do a transition. Now this is particularly, transition is suitable for people who are in the early years of their careers, right? Let's say 5 to 10 years, right? So there are multiple roles. As I said, there is an ML engineer role, MLE. Then you have a deep learning engineer role, right? Excuse me. So ML engineer is primarily concerned with building of the machine learning models, the mathematical models, right? Pure mathematics related stuff. Then here deep learning engineer related to the neural network part that I was explaining, right? Mostly concerned with developing neural network architectures. Then we have computer vision engineers, right? These computer vision engineers are primarily responsible for building models that can analyze image related data, or that can process the image related data. Then you have NLP engineers. NLP is the short for natural language processing. Computer vision short form is CV, right? So you have NLP engineers which are primarily working on the text data, right? and this is image data. This is text data, image, or you can say videos also, right? Uh, this is primarily working on the text data. Then you have Gen AI engineers. Gen AI already explained, models that are generating anything, right? They can generate images, they can generate text, they can generate code, right? Chat GPT, your Llama models, your Meta AI, your Google Gemini, all of these are examples of Gen AI models also, right? After that, you have a data engineer profile, which is related to everything, entire pipeline, right? Starting from the data collection to the deployment part, everything comes under this data engineer part, right? Then you have data scientist, right? Data scientists also similar roles, but a little bit difference, right? Not very much concerned about the deployment and the collection part, right? More focused from machine learning to Gen AI, right? All of these skill sets are required for data science, right? So these are some of the job roles, right, that are available in the industry. But again, right, if you want to do transition, then these job roles are relevant. If you don't want to do transitions, you want to apply, gain skills and then apply it in the same industry that you are in currently, right? To level up what you're doing, then learning data science and not going for these roles, so like you can go for the upscaling then also. So yeah, so that's what I wanted to put on the table as a starter, right? But again, this is an ask me anything session, right? So it's open to questions. Anyone wants to ask anything, right? I would like to take that up, and we can
Yeah,
yeah.
Mr. Sandeep, hi, please.
Hello, good evening, sir. Good evening, ma'am.
Good
Uh,
evening, Sandeep.
I am mechanical engineering student, ma'am, and I want to enter in data science field, but I
Mm-hmm.
have no knowledge of any coding language like Python,
Mm.
uh, C language. So, how can I leverage my mechanical engineering knowledge in data science? What are the most important skills a mechanical engineer should develop to enter the data science field, ma'am?
All right. So let me give you a brief understanding of this, right? I already said, industry is not at all like a barrier for data science or for AI, right? Irrespective of the industry, you are always eligible to learn data science, first thing. Now, what data science purely requires is, you should have an understanding of maths, right? And if I talk about the concepts in maths, you should know statistics, right? Stats should be there. Then you should be knowing plotting, right? The graphs, how the graphs are there. You should be aware of the set theory, the sets that we talk about, right? Union, intersection, how the sets work, all of those things. Then linear equations, linear algebra completely, integration, differentiation. I mean, class 12th level mathematics, right? Class 12th level maths. That is sufficient, right? You don't require very high mathematics knowledge for doing anything in data science, right? Again, there are libraries and there are frameworks which will do everything automatically, right? But you should have the knowledge just to be able to understand what is happening at the back end, right? So this is about the maths part.
Yes, ma'am.
About the
Yes.
coding background, I would like to give you like this advice, right? We in data science, the primary language that is used at an industry level is Python. Okay. And Python is as simple as writing English, right? So if you know how to write English, how to read English, coding, right, data science programs, data science algorithms, or machine learning algorithms, AI algorithms is not at all a challenge. It's never a challenge, right? It is very simple. The syntax is simple. There is no tough syntax like you have in C programming or in HTML and CSS. There's a very tough syntax. It's not there in Python at all, right? So there are very few things that you need to keep in mind when you want to do Python programming. So yeah, so with the coding background, this is very very what do you say? It's very easy to, with no coding background, it's very easy to get started with Python, right?
Okay.
And
Okay.
if you are like, how many years of experience do you have?
Ma'am, actually, I am a fresher in mechanical engineering field, and
Okay, fresher.
right now, right now I am working as a mechanical engineer in a company. startup company. Yes.
Okay. So then, yeah, you can start with data analysis, right? You can start with data analytics, right? Where you can apply your skills to analyze the patterns and the representations in the data. You can start learning from data analytics, and then slowly move up the ladder, right? Slowly
Uh,
transition towards other things.
Ma'am, from which module I will start, ma'am? Can I start?
Data analytics is a completely big model, but I think you should start learning Python, right? Python for data analysis.
Yes, absolutely, Zanab. You were right. So Python, as well as C. Sandeep, what I would say that as a fresher, say as an example, tomorrow you have to share all the things to your boss, right? To your immediate supervisor. They would not ask you in all the tools in their, all the other tools, but they would ask you to give you final representation into the Excel file, right? So Excel is something which is very, very important for every data analytics professional person
Yes.
as a fresher,
Yes.
because when you upload all the files and then you need to have a CSV things and then you need to share it to your immediate supervisor, these people would only visualize your thing as a junior employee, because you're a fresher, right? If I'm not wrong, right? You said.
Right. Right, sir.
So that can help you out to give you the immediate answer to your boss with the help of Excel. So you need to have a very, very strong knowledge about, from a mechanical, you need to have a very strong knowledge about advanced Excel, statistics, Python, as Janab ma'am has said that Python is one of the most important language. Why? Because it's a pure in English as a coding, right? So it's
Right,
one of
sir.
the easiest programming language, as simple as that. It's not C++, Java, Oracle, or something else, right? So this is something going to help you out eventually. So you start your career as a not as a data scientist. A lot of people say that you be a data scientist in next 4 months. I would say it's a strong no. Why I'm saying you, a person who knows the tools, they should start their career as a data analytics professional. They cannot be an ML engineer directly. As an example, in case I haven't passed out the class 5th exams, I cannot go to the class 10th, right? Isn't it? So the same
Yes.
way, you start your career as a data analytics professional, and as you're from a mechanical background, there are companies like Maruti in India, company like Ola, Uber, lot of things are there. Robert Bosch is there, one of the company, right? Then you can
Yes.
always inculcate your career into those levels. You can always start up your career with the startup companies. Also, a lot of companies in mechanical engineer, they are implementing with their things in back in India at the moment I'm talking about. So you can always start up a company with the startup companies eventually. In case you're not
Yes.
getting into the field, learn from those things. Companies, in a startup companies, what you can get, number one is that you can work in multiple scenarios. You're not only based on upon according to your hierarchy. Fine. So you can work on a lot of scenarios at the moment, and then you can jump into a big short mechanical company and be as a data analytics professional. Then you can take an IGP, that's called internal job posting, and that can help you in your career, right? And as a startup, you need to start your career at a very, very different level altogether. Trust me, Sandeep. Got it?
Got it, sir.
All
Thank
right.
you, Sudhir, sir. Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you so much. Yes, please, anyone in case can ask the question. Dr. Ben, you are there also. You're from, I know that you're from property and one of the company in the AI founder, right? Company. So, in case you can ask some question, please. That would be appreciated, please. Dr. Olive Ben or Inamda, sir, please.
Hello?
Yeah, I'm audible. Please, please.
Yes, yes. You asked about my experience, right?
Yes, I mean, I'm following you on a LinkedIn as well as you are on my LinkedIn, so I can see that
Yes,
you are into the modern, societies, right? Uh,
yes, yes. I work in the field of
uh,
smart cities and
Smart cities,
how to
exactly.
use AI. Yeah, how to use AI to manage cities and in the university as well. Smart learning and how to use AI to enhance learning and research at the universities. I have good experience in that, you know.
So you have been a speaker in some of the things, right? If I'm not wrong.
Yes, yes, yes. I'm
So how
always speaking
exactly
in
you
conference.
think generative AI can help you out? I just wanted to ask you one question.
Actually, we are using now generative in the education field, in research, in teaching students, generating
Hmm.
course specification, exams, and students also are using ChatGPT to enhance their work and so on. So we are using that. In smart city also, it has a great, application. We can develop a lot of application using AI to
Mhm.
manage traffic, to manage energy, in every sector, healthcare, education. And generative AI has great potential, to generate knowledge and to accelerate the knowledge generation in the field of education or smart city at all. So I'm using this. I'm practicing a lot of generative AI tools for video generation, for text generation, for research, for teaching student. So it's in the heart of our work.
Absolutely. I mean, because with the help of Gen AI and with the help of the other tools like AI, the smart cities can be developed. If I talk about Saudi
Yeah.
Arabia
Yes.
or
Yes. So
maybe
I'm
the
just
Middle East,
yeah, Middle East. Yeah, I'm expecting to have to develop a practical application after during this course, a practical generative AI application.
correct, correct.
Are we going to use long chain, or something a tool like this to develop application, or just?
Mhm. So see, Dr. Olid, what I would say, the thing is that you know what, like the technology is changing day by day, right? So even though people are there into the same industries, people might think that like some things, the new things is happening. If I talk about Burj Khalifa, one of the example of AI, right? Isn't it?
Yeah.
And that was a pure example. Like if we talk about in India, back in India, a lot of smart cities are happening.
Yes, I know.
Uh,
I know.
so these things are happening because of the help of the generative AI, artificial intelligence, machine learning.
Yes, 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 yes. But my point here during the class, are we going to to use generative AI tool or to develop? Because
Absolutely, you are going to use the
I'm
generative AI
expecting
tool.
to develop a generative AI application.
I would like to,
Absolutely, Zainab, you want to say
yeah,
something?
yeah, I
Yeah,
want to say.
please.
See, developing a generative AI system and using generative AI system are two different things, right? Sorry. So when we talk about generating a generative AI system, sorry, creating a generative AI system rather, something like ChatGPT, okay, we need first of all a lot of data, right? Billions and millions of data, right? That is the very first requirement. Second requirement is you need to have good processing capability, you need to have huge memory capability, and you need to have consistent power supply first, to be able to train the model when the model goes into the training phase. Third thing is that the model would take days to train, right? If you
No,
read about chat
let,
gpt and all, right?
let me just stop you. I'm not talking about developing from scratch, but we can develop
We can do
using the
fine
Chat
tuning,
GPT.
right? That is what I think
Yeah,
you're
fine.
referring to,
Yeah,
right? If you talk
yeah,
about
or
LangChain, you talk
API,
about
Chat
chat
GPT,
gpt or
API.
llama models.
Yeah.
Fine tuning is
Yes.
an option. That is what I was coming to. That is the way
All
to
right. All
use
right.
those LLMs, large language models, for our purpose. So what happens in fine tuning, we are doing prompt engineering, right? We are giving prompts to the model to refine it for the purpose we want it, right? For example, you are from the education industry, you want to refine the LangChain model or the chat gpt model, which are generic models, right? They have
Yes.
generic capabilities. They might not be experts at answering questions related to biology, and they might not be able to give you correct answers if you ask about the stock prices. right? But you need to fine tune by the help of the prompts. That's entirely prompt engineering, entirely different field. So fine tuning the Gen AI models, yes, little bit hands on we can do during the course, right? But
Yes.
if you want that we make a complete product and we go into deployment and all, that's not quite possible, when you are
Yeah.
learning with
Agree.
others. For it, the course has to be equal for everybody, right? Maybe you
Yes.
are
Yes.
at a higher position and you are aware of the rest of the things, but others are not aware. So we take it to a point where we will have one project which will be related to fine tuning, but not much into the details of it, and not much into the
Yes. Yeah.
uh,
Agree. Agree. Thank you.
welcome.
Yes. Anyone else, please? Mr. Hassan sir, please. Amit Pandey. Okay. Okay. Please.
Yeah, hi
Go ahead, Mr.
Janab.
Pandey.
Good evening.
Hi, good evening.
Yeah, actually, I'm working in finance department, okay, and I don't have a coding background, okay.
Okay.
So how can I learn machine learning, Pythons, and other relevant techniques to apply to a real world in financial data, okay?
Okay.
And what kind of like career progression can I expect in data science? And will my financial experience in value in higher level
Okay.
or
Okay.
not? Yeah.
Okay, so this is an interesting question, right? Similar kind of question that we took from the.
Zanab, before I move ahead, I
Mhm.
want to say, Amit, which finance background you're working? I mean, is it like a banking and finance or what?
Yeah, banking finance.
And is it something something kind of a called as a fraud detection management, right?
Yeah, yes.
And how many credit bureau agencies are there? Any idea?
Uh, Something you can say
Well, what are the three
10.
major credit bureau agencies which are actually globally accepted?
Yes.
Equifax, Equifax, TransUnion,
Mhm.
and Experian. And if I
Okay.
talk about back in India, it is with the Equifax, sorry, Experience. I'm so sorry. And they are actually taking the credit bureau agencies. So Zainab would actually answer the question how exactly your finance thing can help you out. But these are the three major credit bureau where you can make your career also from a data analytics or a data science training.
Okay. Okay.
Sure. Please, Zainab, please carry on, please. I'm so sorry to interrupt you.
No problem, no problem. All right, so as I mentioned already, right, the finance industry, it is having a lot of use of the data. A lot of data gets generated there, right? So, right, you must be having a lot of data available to you, right? A lot of data must be available to you, so you can, like, as the no coding background question is the same, right? You have to start learning Python, right? You have to start with Python for DSA module, right? Where you learn the basics of Python. What are the different operators? What are the conditionals? What are the data types? How you can how you define variables? How you start writing simple codes, right? Simple addition multiplication codes in Python, right? So when you start writing those simple codes, you gain the confidence, right? You gain the confidence that okay, yes, I will be able to write Python codes, and slowly you progress towards more complicated systems, and then slowly towards the algorithms of AI and machine learning, right? So you start with simple and then you move towards the complex, right? That's what happens in the with no coding background, right? So that is the first thing. The second thing is that if you're in the finance domain, you will already have a lot of data, right? You should have the acumen, right? You should have that acumen, you should have that business understanding, like, as to how this data, right, how this data can be useful for the company, right? That is a very key idea, I should say, right, behind the data science, right? The very first thing is understanding that data, right? You should be able to understand the data, right? What it is conveying. Supposingly there is a transaction at the middle of the night and the entire amount is withdrawn from an account. So by intuition, right, by intuition you understand that this kind of a transaction is something illogical, right, and something uncertain. So that's kind of a fraud that is happening. So that we know as human beings, we have our intelligence, we have our acumen, we are applying that. But when once you want to you want to do it with the data, and you want to give this acumen, this intelligence to the machines, you have to work with that, with the data that is available, right? It can definitely help you in moving to higher level positions, because technically at higher level positions you have to give suggestions to improve the working of the banking system or the financial firm that you are in. I don't know exactly what is the firm, so I cannot give you a very specific answer, but in general, right, whichever organization you are, whether it's a loan processing organization, it's an insurance firm, or it is something related to banking, you will be always able to give better suggestions by analyzing the data that is being generated every day. One thing. Second thing, if we talk about the roadmap, as I said, you have to start with Python, simple to complex, right, because you come from no coding background. Then after you have done Python, you have to study math, like, or not study, right, revise the mathematical concepts, right, linear algebra, calculus, probability, statistics, all of these courses, you have to do a revision of these mathematical concepts. After that, you move on to learning your machine learning, because most of the financial modeling is done with the help of machine learning. And once you are through, right, once you are well versed with machine learning, then you can move to deep learning. So there is a hierarchy, you can say, or there is a ladder format, right, thing that you should be doing. And you should not be straight away jumping to machine learning or deep learning. Otherwise, the purpose will not be solved. Until unless you follow a systematic approach. This is for everyone, every learner who's coming from a no coding background. A systematic approach is very important, and when you follow the systematic approach, then only you will understand. In the process, you will understand how these skills, how this knowledge can be helpful for what you are currently doing, how you can use it in your current role, right? That's the core purpose, right? And if you have, again, like, you want to stay in the same industry, I believe that is why you want to move to higher level positions in the same industry. Then again, yes, if you do something in data analytics, or if you do something in data science, you can definitely move higher, right, to higher positions, right?
Absolutely. Thank you so much, Zena, for explaining the things on a very, very excellent way.
You're
Uh,
welcome.
yes, welcome. Yes, to Mr. Hassan, sir, or anyone else. So this is an open forum. I mean, the first thing was done on a different way, right? We had a PPT presentation. So this is your class. You can always, share your background, how exactly that can help you out. Mr. Inam, who's this?
Nikhil, hi Nikhil.
Hey, Nikhil, how are you? I'm okay. Yeah.
We good, thank you for asking. Yes, please. Hmm.
Uh, Absolutely, absolutely. I mean, before Zainab would say something, I would try to tell. COVID vaccination, how exactly the COVID vaccination came, how the drug discovery was there, right? How was the clinical test was done? As simple as that. So this is purely to the data science and the a part of the AI only. So see, if I talk about these all, real-time data analysis is actually going to help you out on the supply chain also. Say as an example, in India, as an example, I'm talking about not in only in India. I'm sure that about Dr. Ben is there or Mr. Inamdar is there, right? At the moment, you
Yeah, Mr. Inamdar, sir.
so COVID was not only in India; it was a worldwide global pandemic, right? So you can understand that there was a lot of vaccination. So how to drive those vaccination to the right place? Number one, to get a lot of analysis on those things. That was very very important. Like as an example, in India, if I talk about in Maharashtra, it was at a very, very high level, right? Nikhil, I can understand that you are from Maharashtra because I've seen your in my CRM, and you have applied for the data analytics professional program with us. So you're from Maharashtra, so you can understand how this ratio was increased in Maharashtra, right? So the vaccination, the way that it has been driven, picture how to prioritize the things, how to modulate the things, and how exactly the things should be taken into the picture, and how the delivery of the things of the co-vaccine or the COVID shield or any other XYZ, right? It should have been done, and this is a pure of data analytics and the clinical surveillance, the clinical way how exactly the things has been taken care of the picture. This is purely into artificial intelligence and data science, and as well as to drive the projects, it was based on the data analytics. So Zanab can actually share more on details how exactly pharmaceutical can help you. Please.
Yeah. So, as Subir was talking about the COVID vaccine, so this is actually known as drug discovery in general terminology of healthcare, right? And it's a very, very, you can say, active area of research at the current point uh, in the entire segment of AI, right? Even I, as a data scientist, I would want to create a system which can devise new drugs, which can develop new medicines, right? But it is very complicated, also complicated in the sense because the molecular structures, how they behave together, how the new combinations are created, all of those things, right? They cannot be represented in data, right? So it's very difficult to create model that can do drug discovery. However, there are breakthroughs, people are working to create systems, right? Like very specific systems, like basic drugs can be developed with the help of AI based systems. So this is about drug discovery. Second thing, you were talking about the pharmaceutical industry, right? We also have right like in drug discovery, basically what happens is we are giving reactant A and reactant B and the AI model to the AI model, and this is going to give you the prediction as to what would be the compound C that would be created when you add A and B, right? So in this way the drug discovery is being tried. And you know the properties of A, you know the properties of B, and you are trying to predict what will be the properties of C, and based upon that you are trying to say that this will be effective for treating the particular disease D. Okay, so this is how the drug discovery system works. Apart from this, in the pharmaceutical industry, right, as Subir was talking about the supply chain, right? So you can do a demand forecasting, right? So demand forecasting, actually this works in all the industry, but in the but I'm talking particularly in case of the pharmaceutical industry. What happens in demand forecasting, you can understand that if, let's talk about Dolo, right? Dolo was nothing before COVID, right? Nobody knew that even a medicine called Dolo exists for treating fever and pain, right? But how Dolo emerged, how Dolo became so much popular, the reason was data analysis. These people at Dolo company, they understood that because of the COVID pandemic that was approaching India. This is an Indian company that makes Dolo, right? But what do you say, paracetamol tablets were so much popular that nobody talked about Dolo. So what they did, they analyzed the demand that was going to come in the future, and based on that they kind of did a marketing campaign, right, in such a way that every doctor was recommending no other paracetamol but Dolo, right? So that was purely based upon demand forecasting. And how Dr. Reddy knows, I don't know what Subir is saying. This is one thing. Another thing what they did was they had done the production in advance, right? They had manufactured the medicine Dolo in very large quantities in advance, citing the demand that was going to come in the future, and this was purely based upon data, right? So they had done a lot of manufacturing beforehand, while other companies, right, the competitor products, they were not prepared for this, right? So their medicines, they were not available, and the only alternative that was available at the medical stores even at that point of time was Dolo, right? The supply was unlimited, uninterrupted, and so Dolo rise, like there was a rise of Dolo amongst all the paracetamol tablets. Again, data was responsible for doing this, right? So they had seen it with the help of data. So if you are right, there are two things, right? You have to understand very carefully, right? One thing is data analysis, right? Which is this demand forecasting and everything, where you are using the data to understand what are the trends, what are the patterns, what will happen in the future. You are trying to get some insight, right, to
Yes.
make a decision. That is data analysis part. Another thing is your modeling, which is your machine learning, deep learning part, right? Here you can make predictions, right? Here you can make the prediction, right? Like we talked about drug discovery, this comes under the modeling part, right? But the demand forecasting, this will come in the data analysis part. I hope I'm able to clarify what you are
Yes, yes,
your
yes.
question.
Yeah, thank you so much, Zainab. So, Nikhil, you're from kind of a coding background or non-coding background?
Non-coding background. I don't have that much, but this technology is using a lot of in this field,
Mhm.
like for like a drug discovery and all that. So that's why
Absolutely.
I choose this thing because I'll get more exposures of that things and I can use this knowledge in my field. So that's why.
Absolutely, absolutely. So, as Zainab clearly explained that predicting and the with the drug modulation and the other stuffs, the production of the drug that can be done by the people who are in the data science or the AI part, right? So right now, what you need to do is that you need to start your career as a data analytics professional so that you can analyze the things and then you can take an IGP. I'm sure that I have seen that you have around 7 years of experience, right?
Yes, yes. 7 to 8.
Right. So in 7 years of experience, obviously, what you need to do is number one, you need to pivot your career towards an excellency wherein you need to, be on the data analytics team of your division. I'm sure that obviously when you are working on an Excel file, right? I'm not sure
Yes, yes.
if I'm not wrong, right?
Right, right.
So when you're working on an Excel file, obviously these things are going to help you out. So the analysis, like with the help of the Power BI and the Tableau, can help you out to understand and visualize how exactly the demand and forecasting, right? And I have seen that you are also working in a marketing company. In the if I talk about the pharmaceutical as a marketing professional, right?
Yes, yes.
So what you need to understand that how exactly your business would grow up, right?
Right.
So right now you can be a data scientist, sorry, data analytics manager, or maybe you can pivot your career to the data science later on. But right now, I would ask you to make your hand not to make your hand dirty by the coding part. You take your movement in the data analytics and then you try to divert your career to the data science and the machine learning part. So right now, data analytics would be one of the most important thing. Tools like Python, Excel, SQL, Power BI, and Tableau. These are one of the key parameters that can help you out eventually. Got it?
Yes, yes.
All
Thank you.
right. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Well, I have Mr. Inamdar and Mr. Praveen also. I mean, I haven't got any question from them. Please, is Mr. Inamdar is there? Mr. Inamdar Hassan and Praveen Maurya. Mr. Praveen Maurya, you are there on the call. You're listening to us. Let's ask. I mean, Hindi, English, कभी भी हम बोल सकते हैं. This is an open chat. I know French, I know German, but I can't speak Spanish. I know a little bit of Spanish. I don't know Arabic. Trust me. So any question you guys have? प्रवीण हिंदी में पूछ सकते हो आप सर. ठीक है, I believe, I mean, no one is actually asking the question. ठीक है, it's okay, no issue with that. So Zainab, at the end, you want to say something. And before that, can I say something about me as a person also, like how exactly data analytics can help a PMP certification person? Because see, I have been working on a lot of projects in my past. I've been a PMP certified, and I'm being a Six Sigma certified with the quality excellence and not machine learning. Sorry, I'm talking about the operation excellence. Uh, because I was talking about a lot of machine learning, deep learning. That's why it came to my mouth. Fine. So if I talk about as a Six Sigma, I'm sure that Zainab,
Mm-hmm.
in a Six Sigma, that's something called as a quality parameters, right?
Yes.
When, as an example of a aviation industry, or as an example of a drug industry, like a pharmaceutical company, right, Nikhil? So these all industries work because Six Sigma actually came to the picture with the manufacturing industry
Mm.
eventually. But you know what? Eventually, they try to grow up their market into every sector because everywhere there is Six Sigma. Maybe there is more than Six Sigma. That's called Operation Excellence, which is followed by Accenture as a company. But again, in order to apply Six Sigma methodology, in order to apply Operation Excellence methodology, in order to apply for PMP also, project management, you need to have an analysis part, right? Right, Zanab, if I'm not wrong.
Yes, everywhere it's required.
Because how I can apply Six Sigma methodology? Say as an example, airlines, they don't follow Six Sigma, they follow 18 Sigma. Because a single person or a single pilot, or maybe a person like any default is there. The railways, they are not applying in India though. I don't want to talk into the politics right now, so sorry for that. But if I talk about the airlines as an aviation industry, a single fault can actually take the lot of passengers. They can, they can be there in the rest of their piece. The reason because a single methodology, in case any kind of defects is there, it can impact. So how exactly that can be analyzed with the help of data, right, Zainab, if I'm not wrong?
Yeah, so this is there in most of the industries, right? Not just aviation. If we talk about healthcare, also, right? If a drug is being discovered and the prior analysis is very important before making it available to public because it can risk the lives of people. So everywhere, every industry is utilizing data analysis in one way or the other, right? Even the education sector, right? As Dr. Ali was saying, right? There also a lot of analysis happens based upon the learner's progress, right? How the learner is able to gauge the concepts, how it is, how that person is grasping, and based on that, the course is taken forward and designed forward, right? Personalized learning takes place. Again, data analysis is involved there, right? Then if we talk about your real estate industries, right, there also a lot of data analysis happens as to which sites are better for investment and where the new project should come up, all of those things, right? Every industry is using data analysis, and then your Six Sigma principles, actually, right? The quality principles that they come into the picture. So I was talking about the insights that you can derive with data, right? So insights are nothing but these pointers only, right? Like, for example, this particular area is better, this particular area is not better. So all of this will come only when you do the analysis of the data. So
Correct.
data analysis is the starting point of working with data, I should say, and then you can move up the ladder as we were discussing today.
Absolutely, makes sense. And this is actually the picture.
Right.
So yes. So still, I'm open to some of the questions. Nikhil, or sorry, Amit Pandey has already asked the question. Sandeep has done. I'm looking for Inamdar sir, Mr. Hassan sir, please. I have Prafulla, right? Praveen Maurya, sorry. Any question from you people all, or shall we take call it as a day, because it's almost like 1 hour session.
Yeah, I think that's it for today.
All right. So on a good note, Senab, do you want to say something so that we can end up the session?
No, I'd just like to invite people to explore this field, to learn this field, to understand the basics at least, if not going into the detailed part, so that you are able to make decisions about the future. Everything in the future, the next 10 decades, or maybe the next 50 years that are yet to come, AI would be everywhere, right? Uh, AI would be it would be like a member in our house. So it's very important that you understand the basics of this industry. And also there are a lot of doubts, right? AI will replace humans, AI will replace jobs, right? Even those kinds of questions you can bring up in the next session, and we can have a discussion on those kinds of questions too.
Yes, eventually we can actually put up these kind of things. How AI can actually take human beings out.
Yeah.
Then we can have a very good discussion.
AI will never be that smart, right? Because it's human beings who are creating AI. We are the creators.
I would say till 100 years. No,
No, it's
till
not.
100 years. No.
Yeah, it's not. It's not never there in the near future.
That's what exactly. I said 100 years, and we are not going to.
Not
We are
even
going by.
100 years, Subir. If you ask me, if I keep reading research papers and all, right, there is so much complexity, and there is like, as you go deeper into data collection, right, you will understand how biased our data. Like, there are a lot of challenges with the data that we are collecting. The journey starts from there. If you don't have good quality data, right, we as human beings, we understand this is right, this is wrong, but machine will take everything as right.
Machine is a paralysis without data.
Yeah, exactly. But a machine, if you don't give it the right data, it is garbage in, garbage out. So
That's what exactly. I mean, a lot of people they think that they would be an AI engineer or something. But what I feel that
you have to spend a lot of time with the data, with the collection,
absolutely
with the cleaning.
without data, nothing is
Nothing
there.
will happen, right? If you give it wrong data, the models will be wrong, right? I don't know if there are some movies also where they show that robots go crazy. That's because the wrong data is feeded into their systems.
Absolutely.
So that's what I'm saying.
Well,
So,
one of the Indian movie was also there in robot, right?
yeah.
Right, absolutely.
But Indian movies don't show it appropriately, I should say. The international movies, they appropriately show it, right?
Correct,
So if
correct.
you feed the wrong data into the models, into the robots are actually AI models, right? If you feed the wrong data into those robots, they are going to perform everything devastatingly. So for the next 50 years or 100 years, let's take your call. But I think for the next even greater than 100 years, AI will never be at par with human intelligence, right? It's not going to reach close.
Because human had to actually feed the things
Yes.
eventually.
The human acumen is very complex to understand. Even there is so much research going on, but you will never be able to create machines which are similar to humans. Otherwise, we'll be like God. So I don't think that's quite possible, even after the next 100 years of development.
Correct.
But
correct.
but still there will but still that point is very far, very near, where we will have robots for house help, right? All around us, and AI embedded systems in the homes, right? Smart homes we were talking about. So we will have AI embedded systems, generalized, right? Even the poorest person would be able to afford it, just like it happened with smartphones, right? Everybody, even in the villages, people are using smartphones today. So AI will become that generalized technology in the next 50 to 100 years to come. So it's definitely something that everybody should learn. And if you're not going to learn, you will feel the need to learn in the years to come, because this is going to become something very common, right? Just as if you never knew how to use a smartphone, today you cannot do without it. Similarly, you will not be able to do without AI. So starting early is an advantage to people who want to move ahead in their careers, who want to progress, who want to move to higher level roles or do transitions. And rest, yes, this session is always open for questions, and I would like to take up more interesting questions in the next session that we have.
Absolutely. Even I'm planning to do that. So same thing.
Yeah.
So really, it was an awesome session, and thank you, Zainab, for being a part of this. And
Thank you, Subir. Right. See you again in the next session, right? All right.
thank you so much, everyone. Please.
Thank you. Have a great day. Bye.